Insert excuses here. We're back for the first time in 2025 thanks to the man next door. We call him Diamond Dave, Red Pill Extraordinaire. So we want you to ring that bell. We want you to do anything to get our algorithm up. So you got to watch the next video right behind this one so we can make the algorithm works. We really want to make that happen. So we're introducing y'all to Diamond Dave. Dave, please let them know that you in the house.
What's happening, everybody? Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for putting the mic on in front of me. I appreciate y'all having me.
Well, man, let me just tell you, this has been a waiting thing. We've been waiting for this to get you in here, man, just to get your perspective on everything. Because the thing I know, man, since being around you, man, your perspective is different than most people. And I appreciate it.
Okay.
I mean, truly do.
What we getting into today specifically?
I would like to talk about everything that you've talked about to me from the beginning. First off, about just putting people in check. We're not just going to say women. We're going to say people, because some of these men are bitches too. So that's where we want to go. I first off, when we first wanted to entertain with you, we wanted to start with the whole situation of dealing with brothers that's tripping on mandatory DNA. You actually got some brothers out here saying if you trust a woman or she your wife, just go into that. How do you feel about DNA testing in America today?
And he mean mandatory.
I'm not just talking about mandatory. Dave said it's mandatory for him to claim the kid. So it's always been mandatory. Am I correct?
You 100%.
Now, wait a minute. It's been mandatory for you to claim it. So you mean you don't have to have a DNA test?
No, he ain't going to claim it if you don't have a DNA test.
So with the DNA testing, with all the signatures, paperwork, everything requires, I'll put it like this. You're going to have to pay for this kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
18 years later, when you find out it ain't yours, would you regret that decision? After all the headaches, after all the meetings, after all the emotional connection, after all the heartache, 18 years later, you find out you did that for somebody else's kid and you ain't even know about it. You wouldn't say, man, you know what? If I had just got a DNA test, we would have passed all this.
The deception would be the messed up part about it. Mm-hmm. The deception.
Here, Blue.
No,
you finna go Blue.
No.
Because you old school, you would just feel like if the kid was pretty straight, you had a part to do with it, you would be happy with that. Am I incorrect?
You are incorrect.
Okay.
What I was about to say
that.
is that if you did not know and the game was put on you saying, hey, it is yours, when that person knew it was not yours, then that's different than, say, anything else. I'm just saying, if the deception is there, saying that she knew that it wasn't mine, and then you tried to play it as mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Now, like I said, I don't. I mean, if you out here, killing everything, and I mean, some of us do. You know what I mean? I mean,
I think it absolutely should be mandatory, because it's going to be mandatory that check get pulled out of your biweekly income for the next 18 plus years.
Well, that's the thing about it. That's the hookup is the state having it set up so that you have to pay the child support, because that's a racket within itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that they want to have you not or give you mandatory testing so that they can have somebody to get the money from.
I'm following you.
Okay, so check this out. I'm finna give a little bit of, seem like, from the blue side. So do you blame the woman or the system? Because the system instituted this.
Blaming the woman.
Why do you, if the system is the trick bag, why do you blame her? Probably for the lie? Is that why you blaming her, because she lied to you?
The system
right.
is
That's
there.
what I mean, the deception.
You don't have to reach down into the system and apply it to you, or me in that case, if I'm the quote-unquote father. Be straight up with me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The deception is what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
If you trying to you out here hitting, up with motherfuckers, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to choose you,
Because you are the good, what they call
the
that?
best candidate.
Yeah, right. Hypergamy. Isn't that hypergamy when you go for the best candidate to be the breadwinner and take care of the family. Isn't that hypergamy?
I don't know the word for it, but
It's hypergamy.
but okay. I'm with that. That's as good as word of the penny.
It's the best word because it actually means that.
Anybody that would have a problem with mandatory DNA testing at birth before the signature on the birth certificate or DNA testing at all, I think that that's a person that lacks accountability, integrity, and they want to shy away from the truth. Now, what type of individual would fight against displaying the truth? Somebody that's trying to be, like Phil said, being deceptive.
Well, you are what's considered a Chad, so you know what a Chad is, right? One of these 6'2", pretty whatever. So you're a Chad. You're 6'4". They even like you. The higher you go, the better it is.
You looking at it.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But seriously, are you willing? Well, most people, you know what I'm saying, they be lucky to get what they get because they said one of the biggest problems when you ask for a DNA and you marry, it brings a separation with the man and woman because you're supposed to. Well, trust your woman. You're supposed to trust your woman.
You're right. And your woman's supposed to trust you. And the way that I'm going to show you that you can trust me is I'm going to be point blank honest and not have nothing covered up and say, hey, look, when this happens, I want you to check for yourself so that you're comfortable. And we do that all throughout the relationship both ways. And just like it's a major event having a child, she should be like, hey, look, we doing the DNA testing. We doing everything because I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm with you 100%. It's me and you. And this proves that. And it's not that I'm only going to trust you if you do this, but you should want to say, you know what, this is a huge event. I want him to know and have no doubt in his mind.
What's wrong with getting clarification? What's wrong with understanding up front? Unless a person is trying to hide something and do something behind your back or to your detriment, that they're not going to be upfront with you. Just like in a case in point. If we doing a deal and I give you money and I say, hey man, count the money, or you start counting the money, some people would get offended because you start counting the money. Man, you don't trust me? No, it's not that I don't trust you, but I'm going to count just like you counted. We both have the count, so we both understand what we're both dealing with. That's like a prenup. Some people get offended when you say prenup. It's not that I don't think that you are going to be with me or you're going to take from me, but I want to protect myself. And what's wrong with protecting yourself? And this is what mandatory DNA would be, protecting yourself and from that regret, as you were saying.
One of you mentioned in a marriage or a union relationship, the things that you should look out for is, I want that other person's best interest. And this person has my best interest at heart.
That's a true relationship, but we don't really have those as much anymore.
That's a bigger problem.
What the situation is. The Western way of living isn't the same as
I'm not
the old fashion.
I'm not going to put it on the Western way. I'm going to put it on individuals because it's the person you're dealing with if they're doing that underhanded
going along
stuff.
With that,
right? Yeah. That's on them.
So,
they can be influenced by society, but that doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Just because I see somebody out here busting car windows don't mean I should go out here and bust car windows. The
reason why I said the Western way is because in the Western way of thinking with most Western women is they find more getting things out from a divorce and those type of things. Our thinking here in the Western world is different throughout the rest of the world because we have the system going toward women. When you get a divorce, they get half your stuff and all of that. That's why I said Western way.
I'm thinking it's everywhere in the world like that. When you got a woman, I don't care if she's in Asia, I don't care if she's in Japan, I don't care if she's in
only in America do they have these laws really against the man that works with divorce.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the individual person that you're dealing with.
But I'm saying the psyche, if you here in this society, your psyche is what makes you think like that. We think like the people here.
Everybody else is doing it.
I know that, but this is why most people do what they do.
I can't
Let's
say
use
why
social media.
Does anything.
Yes, you can. You can look at it as far as
I like what Phil's saying.
Psychologically, though, people do
you're right,
what they see others do.
They are
It's called
influenced
group.
by it.
You're
It's
right,
called
Mike.
group thing.
But just because I am influenced by it doesn't mean I have to do it. And that's the weakness
right.
of that individual person.
That's right.
But you're talking about true. You correct. I agree. But that ain't how it goes. That ain't what's happening. You don't have to, but this is what's happening.
Well, then it goes
and that's
back-
why I said the Western way
It
of
goes
thinking.
back to trust then, though. I can't trust that other person.
But the whole thing is that's why you
whatever
ask
reason, I
for
can't
a
trust them.
prenup,
For whatever
and that's
reason, I can't
why
trust
you ask for a prenup, DNA, and all of those things because you don't. And it's because in this society, what you've seen people go through is why you have these doubts. 100%. And that's what I'm talking about. The Western way of thinking. It's what's going on where we are right now that makes us think about these things and that makes us say, that's the only reason why I said the Western way of thinking. Because the only reason why we don't trust the stuff because you see your partner getting done wrong. Everybody getting done wrong. So that's from what us seeing what's happening around us. And that's why we think like we think. That's why I don't trust nobody.
Wouldn't you be more comfortable with a DNA? So, a couple things. This only really applies to the person or the people that it affects, mostly men.
Right.
Women shouldn't have an influence on what's going to affect the men. They don't have to dig in their pocket and pay for it. So I should be able to get a prenup if I want one. No hassle. I should be able to get a DNA test. No hassle. And I think that since it only affects us, and since we've experienced it, our fathers, cousins, brothers, uncles, friends have experienced it, we've seen how bad and ugly it can get and the effect that it has on them long term.
Yes.
Well, let me ask this. Now, it don't only affect men because I know some women out here that probably
Those are the
wouldn't
small
do that.
exceptions.
No, and I
but
agree.
they-
Very
I
small.
agree,
Yeah.
but they're there. The thing is that anybody that's in a position of where they have something they need to protect is that man, woman,
Yep.
child. It doesn't
Anyone
matter.
in that position.
Right. So what's wrong with me protecting what I have?
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think that's a law of nature.
So why do people
Self-preservation.
get so upset
Because
when
they're
those things are
selfish.
asked for?
Because they're selfish and they may have an agenda of their own that they're not sharing with you, or in some cases they truly may not know any other way. That's what their mother did. That's what they saw, and they have a lifetime of just seeing the government involved.
That's what I call the Western way of thinking,
So-
but
so-
that's seeing what's
so-
going on and they
So do you think
the cycle reset.
do you think people can separate themselves from that? And what I'm saying
100%.
is, I mean,
seen
separate
it.
from okay,
I've seen it.
because most people think that, or some people think that if you ask me for a prenup, that means you don't trust me.
And
do you think people can separate that?
I think they can if you give them a lens into your world. And by that, I mean this. Women have asked me, what do I think about marriage? What do I think about prenups and child support and all that? And I said, well, reverse it. Have you ever read that paper that they put in front of you, the language they use, how trickery, is involved? And say, would you sign something that puts you on the hook to lose everything? Would you sign that if it would only affect you? I win either way. But would you put yourself in the line of fire to lose everything and have to start over just because I have a change of heart any given day of the week, 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Well, it works for you because you're a Chad. And when I say Chad, I just mean somebody that's out here that's getting it done, because most men are the final selection of the woman when they through with what they call their whole phase and all of that. So they pick the last one,
That'll take them.
the hypergamy of the whole thing, right? So, and the whole come down to they don't really like him. So after a while of getting the security and stuff like that, and knowing they vested in his financial thing, that's
gonna
when
go
they
back
say
to their
I
way.
can leave.
Yeah.
But that don't work for a Chad. Chad, you know what I'm saying? They come at them, they know what's gonna happen, gonna get buzzed down, gonna get ran through and get left. But that's what happens.
And
but
just-
you know what I'm saying? People like you know what I'm saying? They trying to, you know what I'm saying? Get love. You know, they finally saying, hey, he's a good provider. He's a good man.
But
he cried on some
Just
things.
to complete that, every single woman I ever had that conversation with that actually sat there and answered the questions and talked to me, every single one of them said, "Nah, ain't no way in the world I was saying something that says that. If that's how it can affect me and only me." Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And if they had the other person's personal best interest at heart, they would also turn around and say,
But we're in
I
a
wouldn't
selfish
expect-
society. Western way of thinking is you
Yeah.
first, even over your children. Today, especially today's generation,
But-
what are they called? Whatever this generation is, nobody is in front of them.
and Z, is that
Z was last one.
I don't know this.
Well, that's what I say, and it goes back to though, like he said, dude. If a person really cared for you, then it shouldn't be a problem. No time that I questioned, hey,
'Cause-
you know.
So, do you believe that you can care about somebody for a season? Because it happens with you.
Yes.
I cared for you
Yes.
while we was getting down. Soon as I finished, that feeling changed. That's what's happening, and that's what technically happened with you. It changed. It just happened for Chad quicker. You know what I'm saying? Soon as he showered, his feelings change. You know what I'm saying? Just like his jaw.
But when there is say a child involved, that changes everything.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna just say this. That's why you need DNA, because I don't even know if it's my child.
Right. And that's the
You know
point.
what I'm saying?
So here it is. If I ask, hey, let's get a DNA. Let me make sure. Why does the person get upset? Because you're asking for that for protecting yourself.
Well,
And,
okay.
and yes, it does give the impression that I don't trust you, but it's not necessarily.
You don't
that I
trust them, though.
Right.
But how everybody has been alive the last, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, you've seen what happens to people. So that's
why I'm saying. That's why you don't trust nobody.
So how could you get mad at me when you and I both see what everybody is
First
going
off,
through?
I know the best way to handle that. Now, if you dealing with her and she get pregnant with you, that's asking for a DNA. That's different. But if you feel you've been in a relationship and she says it's your kid, I wouldn't ask for a DNA. I take that little motherfucker down there and you know what I'm saying? I get them swabbed and shit and say, you know what I'm saying? Mommy, me and daddy went and they put this thing in my mouth. Then she'll know. You ain't got to ask. That's where you creating a problem.
So then, right. Like, if I have to go through all that,
If I got to sneak to get the truth.
But that's not sneaking. That's what you got to do, though. Because first off, they could have been
even
lying
if it's
to you
got-
the
what
whole
you gotta
time.
do is sneaking.
My whole thing is, it ain't sneaking.
Come on,
It
baby.
just-
Let's stop by here before we go to the movie.
Right.
Well,
Dude,
you can get
And do
the
this
kits
little
at
test.
Walgreens.
And do this little test.
I don't think them very.
They accurate.
Well, see, he done took a couple. That's just like a morning after. He know what these do. Hey.
My thing is, man, when you see it coming, what?
My whole thing is, in this society right now, in the Western way of thinking, there's no trust and all of that, and that's what stems from this. So how do you feel now? Do you agree with this situation? If a man's paying child support and he ain't with the woman, that it takes away her power if she can't file him on taxes because the average man pay $400 unless you got a
$400.
great job. $400 a month. That's
a percentage.
That's $5,000 a year.
a percentage.
Generally, let's just say regular people, $5,000 a year.
And then if you're running on number 6, dog, come on.
But you know what I'm saying?
So what? Say your question again one more time.
So it comes down to: do you believe that a lot more women are going to be a lot more
So two
understanding
things.
because income tax checks is different than just that $400 a month, and they gonna want they cut
Right.
from that.
Yeah. So what you mean?
Do you believe that's a good idea?
Well, they get their cut when they get the
when they
money
get the
to
check?
Right.
No.
every 2
You
weeks.
ain't understanding. Trump just signing a bill or just signed that if a man pays for child
The
support,
woman
the
can't- Should be
woman
able to
can't
claim.
file the child.
Right. They're
I
going to
agree.
get the money, though, because
That's really
if
what I was going
file
how
my
you felt about
taxes,
that.
if I file my taxes and I get that money back, some of it's going to her anyway. The normal payment that goes.
Right.
And that's for 18 years minimum. So
And you
how
get
can
that?
they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Now, if we were going to be, let's say, fair, quote unquote, what's wrong with alternating years? That's an option, but they don't want that. They want all of the years and all of the child support.
I don't think we should alternate years because if I'm paying all the time, that's
Hey,
like a bill.
just-
So I should write that bill off.
You're right, but I'm saying if we wanted to look at it a little differently, and both still got something out of it.
And now going to what you said on that point, let's say you pay $400 a month for your child. It takes more than $400 a month for a child.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so if let's just say you put in your $400, quote unquote, she should be putting in her $400. That's $800, and we good.
Let's do this.
But wait, we're at $800 now. We good. Now, why not alternate years of the taxes because of that? If we're sticking strictly to that, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I got the insurance covered on insurance and stuff like that, there are other things that go with that, daycare, everything.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about them? You put the money on a card and they can't use it for personal items,
That's what the state
alcohol.
do.
And,
That's what the state
no.
That's
Now
what they
when you get your money, you could buy whatever you want. I'm talking about to where they get a card now that the child support go on to this card, and if you go to a store to try to swipe you some tequila
items,
it's gonna say no. Yeah. No, they talking about instituting that too.
Why not? It's just a form of accountability.
And that's fine. I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, that's
for,
just like
for the men in this room, that wouldn't be considered a problem. But
It's
I'm
just
sure
like that's just like
it's a
people
bunch
who
of
get
it's a bunch of mothers out there that would disagree strongly.
All of the mothers,
you know what?
that's been
Check
interviewed.
this out. Just like they got the stamps, how they get around that, dude. Everything has a way to get around it. Sorry, that's not what's gonna deter anybody. Because I can go in a certain store, buy that, and take it back, get the cash, and do whatever.
Child support. Yeah, girl, bring that child support check over.
Right. Selling child support.
Right. I'll give you cash.
Right.
$400 for $200. Yeah, let's go.
Let me get that Social Security number come April 15th.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So no. I mean, that's just. I mean, that is what it is. Now, I mean, if you're being honest about it, because what you're saying to me is when you take out child support is that I'm paying half or this amount should be half of what should be going towards the child.
But the reason why they trying to regulate it on that other level, because we know half the money don't go to a lot of the children. That's
Absolutely
why
not.
that's coming. The money is going straight to what, nails,
personal
hair
interest.
dye, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
I get that.
Boob jobs.
And this is already what's going on with what they got going on.
Right.
So that ain't going to change. But what I'm saying is that it's just not that one thing. You do have to look at it for both ways. So if it's a matter of that, yeah.
I want to pay my $400 and then I see the kid gaining weight because he eating. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? We got different ideologies. Jordans are not important to me. They got pro kids. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at, those are her values. So what she gonna go get? She gonna go get Jordan. My kid got 200 pair of Jordans.
You only getting this money every month. You only getting this 400. You getting this 400. You take that and do what you do with it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why it's gonna change by you not being able to get the tax money too, because that's where it's changing all of that.
Change anything because they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to when that check comes and that chick gets that check, she gonna do what she gonna do. She gonna buy the Jordan. She gonna buy whatever she gonna buy, dude. Whether she gets it at tax time or she get it every month, they're gonna do the same thing.
Well,
that's not going to change.
A little bit's gonna change because he's making it to where you only get SNAP for 3 months out of a year, and you have to wait 2 years to get back on. So you're gonna have to use some of that money to buy food. You're gonna have to use some of that money to buy food now.
That doesn't change the child support, how that's going to go. Because you should be paying for the food with that $400 anyway, whether or not you got 8.
Should be.
I'm
got
sorry.
Nails.
No, dude. I
saw some nails today. That was really wild.
I'm sorry. Yes, she got nails. She gonna do what she gonna do. My thing is, all I can do is put my $400 in that pot.
This is for the child.
And if she got access to that pot, that's on you. You give her access to that pot, the state.
Mm-hmm.
You know who they ain't gonna come to? They ain't gonna come to Phil and say nothing. Because you know what they're gonna ask me, well, Phil, where the money go? You see it.
Been sent.
You see it.
Yeah.
What you want me to do? Because now, if there's a issue where I'm not seeing the kid as much, she ain't want, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing, that's something different.
Well, you know that's part of it too.
Dude.
Bullshit after bullshit after bullshit.
But then
that's Western way of thinking.
It's regulated by somebody else because, as I said, when they put you on child support, the state take over.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you responsible state. Mm-hmm. If that kid out there hungry, that ain't on me.
Mm-hmm.
You get my $400.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do?
100%.
And this from a man who been there.
I was on child support too. But you know what I'm saying? I had a smooth
I'm going
tongue.
to tell you, I appreciated the dude. At first, I was mad. When it was first brought to me, I said, I was mad. But you know what? I realized, dude, that it kept a ledger.
Yeah.
So nobody later on could say nothing.
You didn't do it. Yep.
Now, me, because of the way I feel about mine, I did other things on top of that, outside of that, which I
A lot
don't
of
care
guys do.
what she did. That ain't got nothing to do with me and them. That's our relationship. See, that's another thing to take from that. If they are mine or I claim them, whether or not you DNA them, if I claim them and 18 years later I find out that they're not mine, that's on me. That is on me because I take that. Now, the fact that you lied and deceived me when you could have been up front, that's another story. But
what if she thought you was the father, but you had not? What? Because she had that one night stand. You know what I'm saying?
now that's something that's a little bit
And she
different.
thought
But
you know what I'm saying?
but if you know, you do.
How you know?
First thing is, you know what you got here dealing with.
but
For me to even have to ask you for a DNA
No,
test.
you can have what's considered a good girl, man, and she good
So
at
why am I
fucking hiding the
asking for a
fact
D-
that she
why
fucking other
why
niggas.
why am I
That's
asking?
why she good.
Why am I asking for a DNA test if she that good?
You ask for a DNA test because you just want to know. It's mandatory from
So
dating
I want to
perspective.
know. I want to know.
100%.
Then.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the chick is,
Right.
dude.
That's the way he said it. If you say you pregnant, period, I don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Off
I
the
want
bat.
DNA.
Before we leave the hospital.
So you're right.
And it's supposed to be learning from my boy Dave. He taught me that they supposed to, if you ask for
Yeah,
it,
if you read the
they
back of that birth
supposed to
certificate.
really make that happen for you.
But the hospital gave me a hard time and
Yes.
told me, no, we don't do that.
Why? Because I mean,
That's just what they told me.
right.
did they?
But it's a lie.
But you signed the birth certificate.
He did because he had.
It was like a month or so after.
So the answer to my question is yes.
But that was after I had my own personal DNA test done.
So you didn't sign it before.
no.
No, hell no. And I told her before she even went into the second trimester, I'm not signing shit until I get a DNA test.
But the point I was trying to make, him as a man understanding the law said in the fucking hospital, I want a DNA test, and they sidestepped
refused.
that so he couldn't get
And they
it
say
from them.
if you sign
and that's
this
the system.
without a DNA test,
That's on you.
you forfeit.
Your
It
right.
says for
Yeah.
forfeit or surrender your rights to
Yes.
paternal testing, DNA
Right.
testing
Yeah.
after you sign.
Right.
I'm like, this shit sound like a setup.
Well, it is because that's what they say. You sign the birth certificate,
And
you
I
have
asked
no
the
right.
I asked the lady that came in that handed out the birth certificate, and I said, "Well, what does this mean here? Because it's saying this, and I don't understand how it says I have a right to a DNA test, but y'all refusing to give me one, and you want me to sign it, but you don't want to give me the test." And they said, "Oh," she said her exact word, "Oh, that just got to do with insurance." And I said, "The word insurance ain't on this whole paper."
Yep.
And
And
then,
she got mad at him.
yeah, she got
She
mad.
did because you actually read it.
And
but
then
what I'm saying is that it supports you to make sure that the law got carried out because
And
of
they-
your rights.
And then what they said was, okay, well, why don't you go get the car seat? Because I got to do a car seat test for they send the kid home when you leave from the hospital. And my baby mom, when I came back, that lady was gone, and she said, because she can't hold no water, she said the lady told her that all this does is make it easier for them to put you on child
Child
support.
support. Right, because you signed that.
And that was her mistake.
So,
Her.
I mean, she knew what it was.
Back when we was leaving the hospital, they didn't even make me have a child support. Them motherfuckers say, here. No, I'm for real.
Well. See, here's the difference. This is how the difference was. Here in Illinois, and I wasn't married. They let me sign the birth certificate. But in Mississippi, when my other daughter was born, they wouldn't let me sign the birth certificates because we weren't married.
Oh, well, yeah, they conservative.
Right. So
Right.
so it was a deal
Ain't none of
of,
that.
dude. It was a deal of, okay, you told me I couldn't sign it, so they really couldn't have.
Came after you.
Not for my youngest daughter, not at all.
So he signed for the one that ain't his. But the one that is his, he didn't
Ain't
sign.
signed for.
This is
That's it.
fucked up in the world.
Hey, it was his choice. You know.
I just refused to sign. They just mad at me. Even when I went to court for child support, I told her, she was like, boy, he looked just like, well, she didn't call me a boy. She said, man, if you don't stop playing, I'm going to throw you in the jail. I say, so we just going to put it on record that y'all not letting me do a DNA test. She said, he looked just like you. I say, man.
Man, baby could look like anybody.
Look, you keep something long enough.
change.
My dog look like me. Look at my dog. Yo, Anna. No, this is a true story. Mom was in there. Everybody got mad at me. But that's how that goes.
Yeah. You just got to know how to fight against it. Because it's coming.
Yeah.
So mandatory DNA test.
100% mandatory.
So as he said, he brought up a good point last time we talked about this. He said, so who gonna pay for it?
Who's going to pay for what? The DNA test? I'll pay for it.
But see, you're the only one. See, Phil said you.
It's worth it.
I'm just trying to.
I'd be happy to pay for.
Yes.
And I thought that was a pretty decent point.
I would be happy to pay for it. So you know how much money you gonna save by not having to pay? Y'all saying $400?
No. I see the investment. I see
It would
in the
be,
investment.
you know, $1,000-$1,300 a month for child support a month.
Right.
Man,
Depending on your money. That's right. Yep.
Ring that bell and make sure you subscribe. But what we just learned, ladies, he got paper. He paying $1,300 a month. You break that down, shit, 25%.
for 18
He
years
paid. Oh my God.
plus insurance,
Yes.
and that's just going
That's
straight to her.
That's
Plus
He
all
here in
the-
Chicago.
The extra stuff I got to do, what like you were saying, my own
6'4".
relationship with the kid. When we go out, I get the clothes at my place.
Hazel
extra
Live.
shoes. You know, I got to
And
still.
that's a whole different thing. You
Yeah.
got a whole house.
I got to fill my house up too for
whole
kid
separate
stuff.
house of things. That's right.
So no, I will happily pay for the test right then, and we take it right now. Why we hiding? Now the state, they the ones that have an incentive to get you to just sign the birth certificate and go along with the program because they get 66 cents per dollar assigned for child support. So yeah, they want to stick it to you on child support so they can keep getting paid and funding their pensions. It's a what they call that where you involved in something, so you shouldn't be a part of making a deal because it benefits you. What's that called?
Conflict of interest.
No, that's not it. It's fiduciary.
No.
See, I'm familiar with that term.
Fiduciary means that I have to do what's right by you, regardless of if it's not
Ain't
by
that
me.
what you're saying?
No, what he was
Yeah,
saying, what
It's
he
in
was
your
saying,
best honor. I mean, best. Okay. go ahead.
conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest for the state.
to not put you on
Right.
child support.
Exactly. Right.
But-
Because they're getting their money out of it.
That's
We're in a
right.
capitalistic society.
That's right.
They're going to get their money any way they can.
But you know, this is he called me Diamond Dave, but Money Mike said, you know, the best way to avoid all of this is to, you know, have your business straight. You know, because if you have corporations, trust, LLCs, and things of the like, you can pay yourself a certain amount a month, and it don't matter what they say on child support. You only gonna be paying a few $100s anyway.
Yeah.
And just to go back, people, hypergamy is the practice of marrying or dating someone of a higher social status, education, income, or other characteristics of economic well-being. And that's what I said that women look for. Hypergamy.
And you know what hyperbole is, right?
No, that's another word.
Bullshit.
But I'm talking about,
But
we were talking about the
that's true.
exact
I
word.
say
man.
that's true.
He got to prove that he
But
was
hyper-
right.
Yeah, because my
Hyperbole
man, you know,
hyperbole is that
it's
bullshit
a
that they
word.
can't get it.
He say it's a word. No, it's the word.
So the mandatory DNA test. What's the other ones we would say we was gonna get into?
Oh, I mean, we covered the things that deal with us in red pill situations. I just wanted to talk about how do you feel about everything else that's going on in society dealing with the Trump movement, because
I think
some of
the
us
country is more fired up than it done been in the last 3.5 years.
Yes.
I think people are noticing changes that affect them on the ground level, civilian level, more so in the last week. How long you been in office? About a week.
2 weeks.
They're seeing more change and feeling more effects in the last 2 weeks than they have the last 3.5 years from the other administration. I saw ICE and
On our block.
yeah,
Here. No. Laughing, joking, no playing.
yeah.
They was down there the other morning.
People getting
At
sent to the
5
border.
o'clock, I'm going to work.
Yeah. So not everything yet, but things he said he was going to do, I'm seeing the president do. I didn't see that from the last administration that were positive that affected me directly.
So this is a get along question. How do you feel about the two sex?
Oh man, I think that was the hardest statement a president has
I
made.
knew he was going.
That. Look, man. So, so he said in America there will only be.
He said in
genders.
Washington he can only speak for in the Capitol and stuff that he has control over.
Only 2 genders allowed. Prove them wrong. I have never seen a third gender in my life. Now, the make believe feel good genders that they say you can assign to yourself, it's all bullshit.
Well, it goes back to as if I identify as a cat.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
gonna get a
all
little
bullshit, and it's truly delusion. It's a psychological defect, and you have a mental problem.
Don't you think that stops them from what's the word? Gaslighting your kid into that philosophy in schools and stuff like that. If
I
they
don't
do
think
break
it
that
ever
down,
should have been in school.
but I'm saying they have been doing it. But don't you think by him saying this is it that stops that pushing of that?
I think that's a step in the right direction, and I hope other states follow suit because there are only 2 genders.
I agree with that.
Now, I know that's not what most people want to hear, and that makes them feel whatever way it does, but show me the third gender. I'll grab it. Show me this is a what? Prove it to me.
I mean, I agree with you, man. That was one of the ones they still talking about right now, firing people from CPS, and they spent an extra $15 million on putting sanitary dispensers in boys' bathrooms.
Which is insane.
In every
And
boy's bathroom.
They should be terminated and banned from being reinstated because they're obviously not fit for that position.
I agree.
It's retarded. Society in America has been living in a fog of mental retardation, and it is a mental handicap. It needs to be rid of permanently. What happened to America? We used to be hard people. We used to be killers, and when nobody messed with us. Now we don't know what we are. Men walking around with titties and skirts on, with a beard and leg hair. What's going on?
Whoa, I didn't get the leg hair part. What, the women got leg hair?
No, I'm saying the men walking around with titties. Dude right here. If y'all had the camera on, this dude right here, he's 6'4", 260. He come down the street with a wig, a dress, heels, an umbrella.
And he had one of them Tina Turner dresses with the shimmer on it.
Like, what's wrong with you?
What?
It's a mental handicap. People could call it demonic spirits and that people are sick and mentally ill and all of that stuff.
But what if he not even of the alphabets? Just to let people know LGBT. What if he's not that and he just looking at this as being his income and he found a way to make good money? If he dressed like this, go to this place and they pay him well. That's a career? How do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. He got a problem just like all the rest of them.
Wait, he got a problem just because
Yes,
he
he
found
does.
a way to make money?
What's wrong with you, man? You a woman?
No, what he know he a man.
No, does he?
He got to know he a man.
Then why is he dressing like that?
Only on when he go to work.
You know
Only
his
time
schedule.
we see him.
You saw that hesitation? Only on Mike know his schedule. He been paying attention. I know when to
See,
catch him.
he just wanted to set me up. But that's
Oh,
cool.
you heard him pause.
No,
Play the tape back.
No,
He
no,
only
no,
on.
no. Okay.
Then he changed
But my
the statement.
saying, I was trying to say, you don't see him
I
do
said
that
was.
every. You don't see him like that all day, every day.
I don't be
You
watching
really
for
only
him
see
either,
him.
though.
You only see him sometimes. So I'm assuming that's when he go to work.
Oh, okay. You fighting for
But
him.
dude,
huh?
that's your
What?
introduced me. You told me about it. I didn't know nothing about that man.
I didn't
You
know.
Introduced me.
I didn't
No, yes,
introduce
that's
you.
not true.
That
You said
is
that
true.
dude over there wearing the.
You
brought
know
that
what
to
you
me.
told me? Hold on. We was standing right here on the porch because it was warm. You know, this was before Phil even got here because you know he wasn't messing with the cold. And you said, you know, that's dude right there, right? That's his truck. I was like, no, it's not. And you said, you ever seen the two of them together?
No, you're talking about the other friend. I'm talking about
Oh.
before I knew that was a friend.
But Yeah. That's kind of going on off the.
Yeah, way off. He want to blame me, but I got to protect myself from that. Y'all, but whatever it is, it could, So Phil,
It's true.
So Phil, check this out. Check this out. Say, for instance, you know you ain't gay. No, you ain't even built like that. But if you dressed up like that and go to a place that they looking for that, and they paying you a yard a day, I'm
separate.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. I'm gonna be picking some nice sequin stuff, man. I'm out here, dude. I'm trying to get out the rat race. You're gonna see me run around in the only thing I ain't gonna be able to wear no high heels because I got a foot problem. But dude,
Say you out there working it.
I'm trying to let you know, man.
Say I'm working it.
Man. And any of you motherfuckers telling me you won't. I know, and this is a joke, people gonna get mad, but it's a joke. Anybody went to jail, motherfucker, you gonna be trying to work here too. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, Mike, are they accepting application?
So we gotta open it.
Hey, you know what I'm trying to say? Come on, man, don't play with me, man.
Dude. No, I mean he's living his truth, man. When you live your truth, man, that's what it is.
Well, that ain't true. You saying his truth. So how can we rationalize the truth with his truth?
I don't have to rationalize.
Well, we playing into it by accepting it.
I don't have to accept it.
I don't understand.
I don't have to bother him. I don't have to do anything with him. I don't have to do anything with anybody that. I mean, it doesn't affect me.
Okay.
No, I mean,
To some degree, it affects you because he out there. You see him.
but what does that have to do with me? That man, that he can do whatever he do over there, as long as it don't get on me. I'm good with you.
I agree.
I mean, that's. I think that's where the problem comes in is that
Forcing my
I
thoughts
want
on
you.
somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah.
That living your truth. Go ahead and live.
Well, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I ain't got no problem with it, man. You gonna trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm way open minded. As long as you know what I'm trying to say, you don't bring it to me like on that level. I'm cool.
You can do however you do, and it don't do me.
Okay. Well, we want to bring back. This is the first time we've been on since 2025. And I just wanted to thank everybody and let y'all know we really trying to put it together so we can be on here a little bit more because we really want to talk about really cool stuff like we did today and really bring some true attention to what's happening. We also want you to subscribe. We would love for you to ring the bell so you can be notified. Please, if you watch this video, watch another one of our videos so it can bring up the fact of the algorithm and make us become a little bit more popular. But I want
always
to
leave
thank and love
comments
y'all.
and let us know, any topics that you may be interested in.
And we definitely trying to take it live to where we can have call-ins and stuff like that because we want to talk to everybody, not just the people we know. We want to talk to everybody. I want everybody to feel like they could be a part of this. So once again, insert excuses here. This is El Patron, and that's the voice. And we had Diamond Dave here, but you know what I'm saying? He had to step out because he a Chad and 6'4", and we know he making paper $1,300 a month. Y'all get on it.
That's one kid.
That's just for
my
one
God.
kid. Think about if he had 4. You know what I'm trying to talk about? And that ain't gonna be nothing to him. He do trips and stuff. Anyway, insert excuses here, y'all. We back.